Hey guys, come on in. Welcome to the worst built house in America. That's right, this house is terrible. I'm gonna show you all the things you should not do. And yet this house is totally legal. Does that mean we should be building this way? Absolutely not. Today's build show, all about the worst building practices you could possibly build a house with. Let's get going. Okay guys, so this house, it has a little bit of OSB sheathing on the front of the house, although the details are terrible on this. And they put that OSB sheathing on because the engineer probably said that we needed some additional racking strength. But most of the house has this right here. This is a cardboard sheathing which is stapled or nailed onto the house and is supposedly giving us some shear value. But it is the worst possible wall you can build in America. Now, I'm in Texas. We don't have an extreme climate zone here. But what we do have is a lot of storms, a lot of wind events, a lot of rain. And this flimsy sheathing right here can easily fall apart if we have a high wind event. Now, they have done some lead embracing in a few places. That's where they've let this in. And you can see this 2x4 cavity is framed on 16-inch on centers, which means they're going to put some batt insulation here. But what they haven't done a very good job on is air sealing. And in fact, this stuff is also incredibly hard to get waterproof. Now, the genesis in this video is one of my Build Show fans wrote me a letter the other day and said, hey, I'm having this weird condensation issue in my house in Kentucky. I got on the phone with him and we talked about it. And in his kitchen, and this is basically the same wall assembly, 2x4s, thermoply, and then he's got brick on the outside. He's got condensation happening in the summertime right here at his electrical boxes. And let's think about this for a minute. If we have brick on the outside of this, and you have these kinds of holes, look at that hole here and this hole here for this wire that came through. This sheathing wasn't even stapled on very well back here. See all the light coming through? If you look back here, you can see all that. This would be a perfect spot for moisture, for condensation to come in and get this cavity nice and moist. And then right here at this outlet where there's probably not very good insulation, this is an ice line or a water line, I should say, for a fridge. It'd be really easy for condensation to happen here. Also, condensation on the back of that sheetrock, which means that when someone remodels this in 15 or 20 years, you're going to find all kinds of mold in the back of that sheetrock. And anytime you see light coming through a house, it's also a perfect opportunity for bugs to get in. And if you look back at this sheathing, in several places there's daylight just sticking through here. See all that light coming through those nail holes, those holes down there by that electrical wire. I mean, the problem with the sheathing is you barely have to breathe on it wrong, and it's going to be really easy to make a hole in this. But because it's basically a cardboard product that has kind of a waxy coating on both sides, tape will stick to it. In fact, a lot of times I'll see this white house wrap tape stuck to it for waterproofing purposes. It doesn't stick great though. And you can see, look at this. This is probably just some damage from someone dropping a 2x4 or something onto it. This cavity, oh gosh, you can feel the wind just pouring through there right now. Can you imagine if this had a stud bay in it and that wind was humid air coming into that stud bay? The other thing you don't think about is in Texas, we have tons of bugs. We have cockroaches, we have ants, we have fire ants, we have all these kinds of things. When those come through those locations, that's a perfect spot for them to enter your house. Let's walk down this way and see what else we can see. This kind of stuff drives me crazy too. Now this is nothing to do with the sheathing or construction type, but you got to manage your jobs. When you see trash like that everywhere and food trash, what's the homeowner going to think when they come to this house? Man, this is terrible. Oh, I hate seeing this. Look at this. Electrician came through, and instead of using a knife, it looks like they punched a hole in it, and that's how they got these wires to come through. That's the problem with the sheathing. It's too easy to damage. It's too easy to make a hole. And then on the outside, oh yeah, look at this. How do you waterproof that? How do you air seal and bug seal that? I mean, about the best you can do is stick some tape on it and get that tape to go. Look here, that's not good. We're gonna assume that the builder was not paying attention when you see those kinds of things. Ugh. 2x4 construction with this cardboard sheathing, the worst. It's not legal everywhere because of seismic and some other issues, but in many, many parts of the country it is. And since the 1970s, we've been building that way in Texas and all across the country. 25 years ago, I built this way. Can you imagine if you bought a new car? It looked new on the outside and a new paint job, and you paid full price for it, new price, and you opened the door and realized the technology was from 50 years ago, that you didn't have air conditioning in that car, that you didn't have a stereo except the push button kind that moved between. That's basically the technology we're happening here. Now, once we put the brick on the outside and we put the granite countertops in, nobody will know what's behind the walls, but that's the problem. We need to do better. We can do better. On my next episode of the Build Show, I'm gonna show you how you could upgrade this wall. You could still frame it with 2x4s even if you wanted to, but we're gonna get rid of the sheathing and show you several options. And I'm gonna talk about the cost too, and I'm gonna give you 10 wall options from least cost to most cost that would work all across North America. Guys, we can do better. We have the technology. We should not be building like this. Tell your friends, don't build like this and don't buy houses that were built to these standards. Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show. I was just leaving the worst built home in America and I forgot something to mention. See those 2x4s on the roof down there? And then these down here, these are called toe boards. The roofer uses them for safety to get some purchase on the roof. But what they need to do is flap the shingle up and then put the toe board on. The way they've done it, see all those 2x4s down there, is they've just nailed them with the construction, a big 16 penny nail straight through the shingles. Hopefully they'll actually caulk those, but the problem is now you've got a shingle that has a 20-year warranty, but how long is the caulking gonna last in those holes? So now the homeowner in 5 years, and they're out of warranty, is gonna have a leak that's gonna develop on their ceiling in the kitchen, let's say, and it's because they nailed the toe board straight through the shingles. And this is all over the house. Like here in the front of the house, same exact thing. They've got a double 2x4 nailed straight on. Same here over the garage. And then on this side of the house, same exact thing. They actually have some toe board supports, but again, the shingles need to be flapped up so they can put the board on. And that way, when they take the toe boards off, the shingles can come back down over top of that hole and it won't cause a leak. Ugh, worst built house in America. Not good. We can do better, my friends.